It feels so weird to start a stream without music. It's like I'm about to have a realization or a revelation. Like it doesn't feel right to just not have music and then be like, "Hey everybody, welcome to the Tuesday stream." It's supposed to, like, if you ever start without the normal intro, you better have some kind of personal revelation or a crime that you're admitting to or something like that. It didn't feel right, but I was like, we don't need to wait another minute to start the stream. We don't need to listen to the same song for the 500th time in a row. I don't have any crimes to admit to, except that I was an accessory to the pulling of a fire alarm in university. I do need to remind you, I did not pull it, but I was there and perhaps did encourage the guy to pull it. Sharding is not a crime, except when Malf does it. It's use of biological weapons. So, I'll tell you right out the gate, at 4 p.m., it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Champions of Salt will begin. I don't want to spoil the schedule in case Kate she's going to reveal the schedule live. But me and Dan, the two team leaders, have been informed about how it's going to go. I'm ready. I'm excited. I've got a draft strategy in mind. I will not tell you. I will not tell you what my draft strategy is because I don't want Dan to snipe it. And I know this isn't Big Brother, you know? On Big Brother, maybe you see somebody talk on the feed and you're like, oh, he's going to backstab Jesse tonight. There's no way for the outside to get a message in to Daniel. There's no way. But in this one, if I tell you a strategy, as soon as Dan goes live, somebody in chat, probably Cynic Blaze, is going to be like, hey, Dan, NL's going to first pick blah. Anyway, so that'll be at 4 p.m., which is 2 hours and 50 minutes from now. For the time in advance of that, I'm gonna, at some point, probably closer to 4, I'm gonna play an hour of the Hunter Call of the Wild. First off, it's fun. Secondly, the bounty board has blessed me with a bounty for the Hunter Call of the Wild. Also, after we played it last week, somebody on the subreddit posted a huge spiel, like a to-do list for us. That was like, here's how to have more fun playing the game. Here's how to actually encounter enemies. Or, well, animals. I guess I shouldn't call them enemies. I'm not going to show you the zit, okay? That's too far. But what I will do is I'll tell you... So I think the reason my skin broke out is because I used this incredibly toxic compound called Goo in order to get a bunch of tape off of the walls at our old place. And I think the vaporous Goo is like incredibly toxic or something and maybe got on my skin. But like, if you want a visualization, so this is my forearm. You can see there's a zit on my forearm. There's not even any like pores or follicles in this area. And I got a honker just sitting there on my forearm. Now, in an area with some more sebaceous activity, you might, well, there's probably pores, but you know what I mean. It's not an area where you predominantly get them. You know what I mean? Or I predominantly get them. So I got to wait for the Goo to work its way out of the system. I'm not going to pop it and post it to our popping, because I already popped it and it didn't even pop. It just bled. Wasn't a good pop. This one right here, that's a popper, but I wouldn't dare because, you know, it might scar. Anyway, so I think we're going to start with, we'll play a little Invictus. We'll handle an hour of Invictus. If you'll allow me. Who doesn't like Invictus? Tetris 99, I sleep. Tetris 99 Invictus, I wake. We're also having a little maintenance done on the place. You might hear some but it will be done by, like an hour from now. Today's Teddy episode was great. Thank you. I'm here to tell you, you're going to have even more great Teddy episodes, because check this out. Hold on, you can't even see what's happening here, all right? Hold on, move me. Going here. Going here. Look at that. There's your Tetris stats. 6 wins. We're up to 6 Invictus wins. What a world. It's not even hard. I also saw somebody say having Champions Assault at 1 a.m. is kind of a slap in the face. It's not the 1300s anymore. The world doesn't revolve around Europe, okay? It revolves around North America now. But our time is also really getting close to the end, to be honest. I don't know where we're going next. Maybe Asia. You had your chance way back in the day. We're living in that golden age right now, and then we're going to pass it on. We were going through the Black Death in the 1300s. When I fall asleep, I listen to this book right now by Susan Wise Baker called, it's like the history of the Renaissance era. Or maybe it was the medieval era. I can't remember. I got both of them. But, they were saying, like, in the year 1200, France had a population of 9 million people. I was like, dude, what's the population of France now? It's probably like 40 million? 70 million? Still, to be at 9 million people in like the 1200s is crazy. I mean, the population of Canada in the 1200s was probably like, a few 100,000. We don't need to go any further than that. How many audiobooks do you own? Like most people, I own 0 audiobooks, but I do pay too much money to rent a few from Amazon now and then and pretend to own them. Okay, just send it. Sorry, I've got chat in a bad position right now. I can't really read it. One of these days, perhaps. So I've been working on, honestly, I got a few different things in the hopper here for Tetris 99, okay? One of the big ones is I'm trying to get better at T-spins, which is actually, for the first time in my entire life, we're making progress at it. And then the other one is what we just saw right here, which is trying to make sure that when we destroy the 2-tile wide, we destroy it in such a way that it doesn't actually get destroyed, and instead is kind of like non-destructively just sort of ground down a little bit, and then is ready to, be rebuilt pretty much immediately after that. And I think, as of right now, pretty low on complaints. Playing Invictus has really improved your speed. It really has, and I mean, beyond just that, thank you. It's a nice thing to say. I think it's, to be honest, it's improved my misdrops as well. I don't misdrop nearly as frequently now. I think it's just, if you give someone time, they're gonna do something with it. Sometimes that something's gonna get you in trouble. If you don't give somebody time, then they're not going to make mistakes, which is, like, definitely not a good management strategy. In fact, like, literally what I just said makes almost no sense at all. And in the process, I really screwed this one up. Give me a moment here. Ooh, see what I mean? A lot less misdrops now. Oh, you still get them on occasion. Get off your freaking high horse. Plus, we're on 5 KOs. We got enough sauce to do some damage here. This isn't even, until you start to be forced to play against real human beings in Invictus, you got nothing to worry about as long as you play fast. Like, in Tetris, in Invictus, I should say, you never, like, for the most part at least, you never come in, like, 30th place anymore. Because you don't get targeted by human beings usually until the later games. So, in a way, it's a lot harder to win, but it's even easier to place, like, relatively highly, I think. It's not to say I've never had, a 30th place finish, but the real game hasn't even begun yet, is what I'm trying to get across here. So if we wanted to make a 2-tile wide, we screwed it up, that's fine. Just get yourself back down. I did see, so I follow the Tetris 99 subreddit because I'm a glutton for punishment, and whenever my name is mentioned, it's always in the context of like, hey, Ryan's got a great personality. He's really bad at the game, but if you don't have any self-respect and, you know, you're not doing anything else, then you can just go watch him for a bit. Sometimes it can be fun to laugh at how bad he is. He's a really good guy, though. But anyway, not that I'm bitter. Somebody posted, oh, I was so close to a win. You know what? Never mind. You know why they said, you know what? Never mind? Is because Wumbo was in their Tetris 99 game. What the heck is Wumbo doing playing default Tetris 99 when Invictus exists? Like, I feel like it's like a slap in the face. You're one of the best Tetris 99 players on planet Earth. Shouldn't you be like forced into Invictus? Okay, this is very dangerous now. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. You're not. That was bad. But you know what? We can rebuild it. It won't go. If it won't go, it won't go. The cardinal rule of Tetris 99 Invictus. If it won't go, no amount of force is going to get it there. Not in this mode. Oh, that's a little spiced. But when the things start moving this quick, you know, you gotta... that's an issue. When the things start moving this quick, you gotta make some tough decisions. That would have been a really nice one to go, but okay. If it won't go, it won't go, but please go. Yikes. Please go. Man, I am actually, like, you guys have no idea how lucky I'm actually getting right now. Oh, that's real bad. It got stuck. Please. Okay, we didn't deserve to stay alive for like half of that. We were playing really badly at the top, but to just make it as long as we did at the top there was really impressive. I can't be too mad about that. That's okay. Not a bad warm-up. Oh. I didn't even get a chance. Yeah, we were just getting the blood pumping there, exactly. When are we gonna get a lion scared emote? I've told you I could have it up and running by tomorrow. The problem is we need 45,000 subscriber points. I don't make the rules. It's Twitch, you know? So I'm just here to tell you, I don't think it's too likely. We need 1.6 million subscriber points. Oh, did you see that? What a beautiful situation we created there. Not only was it a spin into the spot, but the spin into the spot gave us the T-spin. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we want to save. Square piece, horizontal long piece is the way. If you don't believe, you don't understand. I think we prefer to break this. I don't think we prefer to break it at all. Now that I look at it. This is a little scary. It doesn't need to be necessarily. For the time being, we probably shouldn't have let it get that spice. Okay, so we're gonna take this one down. This is one where you gotta rebuild. Still happens, you know. For all the positives in my Tetris 99 ecosystem, we still make mistakes, but I think we're a lot better than we've ever been at recovering from said mistakes. Still making them. Not sure if that was mentioned recently. But I mean, like that, you know, now I'm like, when I make a mistake, I'm not like, oh, rip, it's over, dude. I'm like, okay, it's going to take us 2 moves. We get ourselves out of it, and then, you know, don't panic. Life's okay. I've only noticed this recently. I'm not trying to toot my own horn too much, but I see more pieces ahead now. I used to, even until very recently, I would only see like 1 piece ahead. Now I'm sometimes seeing 2 pieces ahead. We're not in the 3 range, you know. We're not quite there yet. But definitely the brain still expanding, thankfully. I have not aged out of the Tetris, you know, growth period. We're cruising. Also, I have no idea what anybody said for the past 5 or 6 minutes. I have not been able to look. Hopefully nice things, or not nice things that are constructive. I'll take that. Just remember who started this situation. It was not me, for the record. And that was a poopy butt. Of course, the one time I look, they're talking about my poopy butt. Almost as if it was planned in advance. Totally acceptable. Absolutely no concerns. It's my KO, please. Not my KO. Please go. If you won't go, you won't go. But that feels like one that definitely could have gone. The real Invictus skill, like the Invictus specific skill, is learning how to actually like build the scaffolding for pieces so that when they won't go, you can like get a piece ready to prop up to send it. I'll live with it. That's a big hole or a big garbage disaster, but may I say, you've taken quite a lot of aggression. I'm ready, perhaps, to experience, you know, some form of safety, perhaps. That's no good. What have you done? You've made a T-spin. You gotta send it. That's a problem. Don't let me go. Oh. Ah! We had built on top of the garbage hole. That was an okay game, but we had a lot of cursed stuff happening at the end. I actually don't feel that bad. Like, we had so much aggression on us. Do you think Papa John's actually ate 40 pizzas in 30 days? I mean, did you watch the interview? He doesn't look, in my opinion, he doesn't look like a man that ate 40 whole pizzas in 30 days. But I do believe that he may have sampled pizza 1.3 times per day for a month. I do believe that. I just think, like, when it comes to Papa John, every time I see him, I've only seen him in 2 videos, right? Like, two genres. The only genres I've seen him in are sweating and, well, 3 genres. Sweating, uttering ill-advised racial slurs, or extremely intoxicated. Those are the only 3 genres of Papa John's. Well, okay, and the one with his kid at his mansion, where Bo's in the house. I have seen that one as well. I have seen him in his commercials, but to be honest, Papa John's did not have a huge presence in Ontario when I lived there. I believe that their cross-Canada expansion maybe started... Like, there's tons of them here, and I'm sure there's tons in Ontario now, but... What about Vancouver? There's many Papa John's in Vancouver, yes. I mean, I've eaten Papa John's. Kate likes it. Kate and I have... Well, Kate liked it. We probably haven't ordered Papa John's in actuality for, like, maybe, like, 6 years, but Kate used to be a big Papa John's fan. All I'm going to say about that is I don't, you know, my wife's entitled to her own pizza preferences, but she also would put ketchup on the pizza. So, I guess, in a way, I am definitely throwing her under the bus. She can answer for that during Champions Assault tonight. Even now, like when we order pizza, no, she does not put mayonnaise on the pizza. That's too far. On the crust, whatever, but on the sauce-laden portion, I wouldn't. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it, but I would prefer not to have to accept it. Yikes, that's not where you place that one. It's okay, I'm still doing fine on KOs here. My Vancouver pizza preferences are much different than Kate's, but we found a happy medium. I think, you know, if you live in Western Canada, you ever have Panago? Panago is totally fine. They make pizza that I would say is at an above acceptable rate. Were it just for me, would it be my choice? Only sometimes. But I'm happy with the compromise. Panic go to the polls. Exactly. It is by pizza standards, it's a little expensive. I cannot deny this. As an undeniable statement you've uttered. But you shouldn't take my pizza as gospel either. I routinely order pizzas that on the internet would, especially with the likes of Robert, would get me in a lot of trouble. Like, I had a pizza like a week ago that was like, you know, broccoli forward. People would hit you with the what face for that any day of the week. And I gotta admit, even as I was eating it, I was like, this is a little broccoli forward. It was, I would describe it as fine, but it wouldn't be like my number one choice moving forward. And that's all there is. That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. Can you just, like, target somebody else? Like, I'm starting to hit the point where I'm like, okay, I guess it's just, this is my life now, is being targeted by literally everybody that remains in the Tetris 99 game. We'll go one tile wide briefly, just for ease of sending. You're like, oh, you screwed it up. No, I didn't. It's called a combo, sweetheart. Wouldn't expect a non-Invictus player to understand. Why not go attackers in that situation? That's actually a great question. The reason is because I think sometimes I go attackers in Invictus and I just get absolutely destroyed. I think in a non-Invictus situation, you go attackers and you're picking up like double-digit kills there every time. In an attacker-rich situation, in Invictus, I don't know if it's the best approach. That's going to be an issue. I mean, you gotta send it, but I needed something worth sending. Please. I can live with that, to be honest. Okay, if it won't go, it won't go. But that's one where you really wish it had gone. All right, we're alive. And don't panic. There's no reason to panic anymore. Okay, you should have sent a different piece, and you should have sent a freaking poet. That one just wouldn't go. You in this business, you learn to embrace what will and won't go pretty quick. Send. Thank you. We just had that a whole game, there was no chance to recover brain glycogen. We were under heat the whole time. 11 KOs. That was honestly 11 KOs, 18th place. That hurts. I think there's like there's a case to be made for not getting that many KOs, to be honest. Like, I think from a pure game theory standpoint, oh no. In a perfect world, you might wish to get just enough KOs to get the maximum amount of badges without having to deal with being the exact badge lord. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, do you care to explain your love of ketchup on pizza?
What? I don't do that anymore, man.
It's true. I was bringing up some ancient history.
It's good on very specific pizza. Not all pizza on ketchup, that's savage. The vegetarian pizza with lots of olives and greens goes so well with ketchup. It's just like only one pizza that I have encountered actually goes well with ketchup. It's not like I have to have ketchup on every pizza.
She does not put
That's
ketchup
not
on
like
every
that.
pizza.
That's crazy.
That would be
one
insane.
Pizza. It was a vegetarian pizza from Papa John's, and it went well with the ketchup.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, she's made her case.
It's just like a special thing, special case, you know.
Kate, guess how many Invictus wins I have?
I don't know, but the light fixture installation is done.
Excellent. Great news.
Well, the bad news is that it has a little crack on the glass, but I just want to be done and over with, so
Yeah.
just face it in like a way that normally people won't be able to see it.
That should be fine.
So yeah, that should be fine. And then he thought I had a radio on. In the
Ah!
other room. So he's like, oh, do you have a radio on in the other room?
And you're like, no, my husband is an extremely famous internet radio host.
No, I said, no, that's just my husband.
He likes to talk to himself a
No,
lot.
he's broadcasting.
Oh, he's broadcasting.
And then the guy said, wow, he has a really nice radio.
Ooh, I get that a lot, especially when people see my face.
And then, yeah, I was like, alright.
Well, that's a nice compliment.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a normal situation where like 90% of the stuff that's delivered on planet Earth arrives with a little chip out of it? Because it seems like that happened to us an awful lot.
It's just glass and, you know, people handling stuff. You know what's crazy and fucked up?
My, well,
No. I ordered the hot pot for the hot pot night on Saturday.
right, yeah.
Nobody rang the bell. Nobody left a notice, anything. But then I got a notice from Amazon saying like, hey, sorry.
Oh,
They missed you. And I'm just like, what do you mean they missed you?
I hate that.
They didn't even come to our doors. Nobody rang our bell. No notice, nothing. And then they said, oh, sorry, we missed you. And I'm like, maybe you missed the whole address, maybe. I don't know where you're bringing my hot pot to, dude. I need those hot pots.
That's, the same thing happened to me the other day with Perlator. I was home all day, and I go check outside, and it's like, hey, we missed you. You weren't here. And I was like, I was here the whole day, sir. Or madam, for that matter. I think there's something's rotten in the state of Perlator, to be honest.
What's the order from
No, it's at the post office. The notices are on they were on the island. This was days ago.
Oh,
I'm in the kind of in the middle of something right here. The questions to that degree of specificity might be better off waiting a little.
I just want to tell you something.
Okay, thank you. We'll just move on from that one. Good round considering the training weights. Thank you, thank you. Probably 30 of my Tetris 99 wins are actually while talking to Kate. So, in case you're wondering, sometimes people are like, how can you play and talk at the same time? It's because, like, at least 30% of my gameplay lifetime in Tetris 99 is while also answering, like, incredible questions. Like, I'll be playing Tetris 9, it'll be like top 10 music, and Kate will be like, what would you do if an earthquake destroyed our home? And I'm like, you know? That's a complicated question for the current moment, but I'll do my best. What would you do if it rained so hard that we had 3 feet of water in our living room? I don't know. I guess you know. What are you gonna do? You gotta get out the shop vac, I guess. Get out the jet ski. Don't let it get you down, champ. I appreciate it. Thank. I mean, it was not getting me down. You know, I'm happy to have a. I hate this right here, but I'm happy to have a conversation with my wife. That's why, you know, I married her. It's not always an opportune time, but that's okay. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I don't know what was going through my head on that one right there. Sometimes I see, like, guys who are trying to get fit, they call, like, their significant other, they're like, oh, she's like a gains goblin. And I can, like, relate to that, because, like, you know, most of the time, I'm, pretty, like, on point with where I want to be and stuff like that. And then Kate will be like, hey, do you want to go out for something? And I'm like, sure, what are you feeling? And she's like, you know, deep fried cheesecake. And I'm like, okay, whatever makes my wife happy. Then I realize, how, in good conscience, how can I refer to my wife as the gains goblin in that situation? You can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink. If I didn't want to get the deep fried cheesecake, I could have gotten the, you know, the chicken Caesar salad instead. Wouldn't have been perfect, but it could have been better. Don't, like, talk to me for a second here. I love being great at video games. I needed the time there, don't get it twisted. Okay, we're back. What is a gains goblin? You know, it's like things that pop up in your life that compromise your fitness goal. What am I doing? This isn't how you play Tetris 99 properly. Nice jail. You got me. I wish I hadn't been got so hard, but you got me on that one. I have constructed a penal system. I'm gonna work on it. Might not, you know, Rome wasn't destroyed in a day. You ever hear, I mean, obviously you're probably familiar with, like, you know, the fire of Rome and Nero fiddling while the city burned and etc., etc. You ever read, though, like, old stories about fire? Like, my perception of fire is that a fire is, like, less than an hour long, right? It's just, you know, once it's started, it's already halfway over. But, like, when people, you read, like, these tales of fire back in, like, the 1500s, 1300s, etc., etc. And they're like, the fire raged for like, in the city for 4 days. And you're like, the city was on fire for 4 days? Why didn't they just put it out? I deserve to lose that one. I'm not talking about wildfires, you know? Because we have those in BC too. All the time. But like, you know, a wildfire, you kind of like, you know, maybe fire starts in the forest. It might take you like, you know, hours for anybody to even know that it started, right? But like when a fire starts in the city, well, it's gonna take like, you know, like 10 minutes maximum if it's in an abandoned building or something. If I were in the fire department, I would simply put out the fires. It's more just like, you know, firefighting is one of those things where some of the time I'm like, basically they've become so good at their jobs for the most part that I no longer perceive the job as being as necessary as it actually is, which is obviously idiotic. But like, the fire department is so good at putting out fires that now I'm like, fires aren't even a risk, you know? Maybe it's not even like firefighters are that good. What I specifically mean is like, you know, fire prevention is so high that I'm like, how do things even get lit on fire in the modern day? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, just keep a bucket of water around. People keep saying, I feel like I'm being deliberately misrepresented here. I'm not saying fire isn't real or fire isn't dangerous. It's like the same thing, like, are you afraid of, you know, getting, the Black Plague? Probably not. It's still a deadly disease, but because we have medicine for it, you forget. You know, we, as human beings, we've come so far in that department that we don't perceive it as being a threat anymore to the same extent, even though, I'm just saying, who knows? Okay, you should get me angry more often. It's like a plus 10 speed bonus. We got a 2-tile wide. We sort of screwed up the 2-tile wide, so hear me out here. Let's do something like that. Now we got a little bit of a busted 2-tile wide, but I'll live with it. Nah, I like this. Thanks. Okay, honestly, do that, then do this. Now you got a 2-tile wide. Ho ho ho. That's a guaranteed kill. Like, anytime you see that situation, you know you got a kill coming your way. It's just that simple. If you ever get to send 2 square pieces down a 2-tile wide, it's over. You do know that half of California has burned down every summer for the past 5 years. Why phrase it like that? Of course I know I'm making a joke that also has a little bit of relevance to the modern day. Look, don't blame me for PG&E mismanaging their the monopoly that they've had on the energy industry in California for like 40 years. That's not my fault. I'm the streamer, okay? I'm above criticism. You want to talk about a joke that doesn't make sense? Talk to me once y'all put Kid Rock on trial. And by Kid Rock, I mean Chris Rock. It's the joke I always bring up. Insurance is money you pay in case stuff happens. If stuff doesn't happen, shouldn't we get our money back? The joke doesn't make sense. That's a Randy switch right there. It's an incoherent joke. During the comedy special, it received a standing ovation. Even as a child, I thought to myself, these people are sheep here. Even, you know, I laughed, but that's because when you're like a teenager and you laugh, or when, let's say when you're an adolescent and you laugh, you're not really laughing because you think it's funny a lot of the time. You're laughing because other people are laughing, and you're still learning, you know, what's actually funny as a human being. You know what I mean? Man, I really wanted those bags. You know, part of the growing up experience is learning what people think is funny. Now as an adult, you know, I have my own sense of humor that I stole from Tim Robinson, and I'm like, the joke just doesn't make sense. Chris, I mean no disrespect, you're one of the most influential comedians, you know, in stand-up history, but I just would like you to explain what you mean by this nonsensical joke. Are you implying that only adults have a sense of humor? Well, I guess, first off, you mad? Secondly, I'm implying that only adults have a sense of humor that doesn't come completely secondhand. I guess that's what I'm implying. And I'm leaning on my expertise as a PhD holder in child psychology for this, so you do realize that they make kids movies, right? Hold on, radio silence. For the first time in my life, I do not fear the square block. Bit of a build on the garbage hole. Never hurt anybody. That time it just wouldn't go. You saw it. Yikes. Go! If it won't go, I'm dead. Ah! There's some good players in that one, too. That's alright. Cue me back up. I'm ready. I'm ready. That hurts. Why'd you build on top of the garbage hole? Hey, Lewis Hamilton! When you were cruising down 425 kilometers an hour, approaching turn 7 at Spa, why did you make the turn 0.2 picoseconds before the optimal line? I mean, didn't you see that if you had turned hitherto at the point that has been designed and deigned the optimal turn, you would have just had a much better performance? You probably would have even won? I mean, come on. I sure hope somebody got fired for that blunder. Because the pieces are coming at Mach 10. Oh, were I the Tetris 99 player, I would simply place the pieces in the optimum position. You do realize I'm fighting for my freaking life here, right? Can't get too salty prior to the champions of salt. It's bad for your blood pressure. This is a lay person would look at this situation and think it's dangerous. But lay person in this case, also a nay person, because they're wrong. Much like a horse trying to do mathematics most of the time. Except for that one, but I think they found out the horse was cheating. You heard that one? Anyone else here take Psychology 101? There you go. We got the KOs back. No, not the one that was allegedly romantically involved with Catherine the Great. I would let you know if I were referring to that horse. Okay, blue piece restores the well. Orange piece would restore the well, but things are a little spiced. So we're gonna have to take a little break from getting the well restored. Do something like that instead. Okay, we're gonna take a little break from getting the well restored. Eventually, there will be no time for breaks. That's a problem. Yeah, we're dead. This is a dead situation. Man, you mess up in Invictus, it's over. You kept covering the hole 4 times. This is why I'm realizing, I've told this to Dan many times. If I were to start my online presence from 0 again, I would just not ever open chat. I would just merely keep chat closed the whole time. I would probably, when I finish streaming, I would just pull the cord out of the wall. Like I follow some professional athletes on Twitter, and I realize, I'm like, man, it must get you down. Like if you're a professional athlete, you have like a bad game. A lot of people will tweet you and be like, hey, go die, ha 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 ha. By the way, I love you. I have an avatar of you. And I'm like, man, it must bother the professional athletes. And then I realized that literally the only thing they tweet is, I'm excited for the season, and then sponsored tweets about, like, you know, post-workout drinks and electrolyte supplements. And I'm like, dude, that's the way to do it. That's the... No wonder they're not doing so bad. Is because they, you know, just before hockey season starts, they make one sponsored tweet. And then whenever a company is like, hey, we got a spare $1 million lying around, you interested in some of it? They go, yeah, sure. I have 1.5 million Twitter followers despite never tweeting. You're going to pay me $75,000 for less than 1 minute's work? Sounds good to me. They got it all figured out, dude. I have often said that in many ways, professional athletes are probably the smartest individuals on planet Earth. You know what would be a really good joke right now is if I said something like, that's rich coming from a guy who steals half his jokes from chat. That one would bring the house down. That would be like a sick joke. That's why I get paid the big bucks, dude. Coming up with stuff like that. I haven't even talked anecdotes yet. I haven't even, like... So yesterday, I tweeted about it, but this is what this is. This is the tweet recycler. I went to Home Depot. And all I needed to do is buy paint. It's a very simple task. I had the RGB values, All I had to do was go speak to the clerk and be like, hey, can you make this paint? It takes, you know, less than 10 minutes, usually substantially less. You get the paint in hand, you walk out. Unfortunately, I went to the Home Depot a little late. There was but one clerk, and that's not normally an issue. But the clerk was completely hamstrung by this boomer who just kept asking questions over and over about like the differences between rollers and brushes. Like, he said many times, like, I'm painting a room in my house. Should I use a roller or a brush? And she's like, well, could you, like, describe the room? And he's like, oh, well, you know, it's got, like, some door frame stuff that I'm worried might be a little tricky. She explained it to him so many times. My man always had a follow-up question. And I hate to say it, but the only thing I can say is that he must have just been a little lonely or something. Which is sad in and of itself. But, like, it's not that hard. Like, as you can tell from the foam, I'm not a handyman. Clearly. But paint is, like, literally... You don't need lessons. Moreover, it's like a millennial's nightmare. Because the whole time that I was there, I was like, brother, any person in my generation would have just Googled their question. They would have come up with an answer in no time flat that wouldn't have inconvenienced anybody else. Why do you have no respect for anybody else's time, etc., etc.? Anyway, I was very bitter. So he took forever. And then I went up and I was like, I need some paint. And she's like, how much do you need? And I'm like, how big are the sizes? She says, we got quarts. We got gallons. I say, you know what? Give me a quart. That's that. I was in and out of the store in like 10 seconds. I deserve this. I deserve that. Why did you paint your old place? Because I did some damage to the wall, ripping some stuff off. So I repainted it. Thinking too much about paint. But it's like the same when Kate and I bought, we bought like 2 lamps. And, like when we bought the lamps, it wasn't from IKEA, it was from a, hey, you know, we're like a nice lamp store. When we bought the lamps, it literally took like maybe 40 minutes. Kate, I could feel her like spiritually dying next to me during the interaction. I was largely immune to the effects of this spiritual vampire because I have memories of planet Earth before the internet where, you know, for whatever reason, every task that should have been accomplished, you know, with the existence of Amazon, like, it can be done in like 10 seconds. Now it takes an hour for some reason. I have memories of the before times. But, if you don't, I mean, it was a nightmare. Like, he was manually typing up our invoice. He's like, well, you know, what's your name? What's your address? You know, what's this? What's that? All to just buy a lamp. I just don't understand, like, why is all this information relevant? But it's just, the computer says it's gotta be in there. I'm like, okay, well, you know, I suppose we do really want the lamps. They need that information to sell it, but why though? Like why? Yeah, like money laundering. Like I'm gonna claim. Oh, that lamp. Yeah, that's a $15,000 lamp, Justin. I don't know, dude. Maybe there was a big money laundering scandal with respect to lamps. I wouldn't know. Wouldn't put it past people, I suppose. Well, we only got one towel. Let's just see. Would you like it? Yeah, that's the other thing. They give you, do you want a printed receipt or an emailed receipt? No, is the answer to that question. I'm good. Not only do I desire that you save the paper, You can even save the electrons. You don't even need to use the electricity to send me the emailed receipt. It's okay. It's, you know, I bought 4 light bulbs at Canadian Tire. They only have self-checkout now, which is usually fine. But I've realized, you know, we got a lot of boomer energy radiating out of us right now, but I'm going to keep it going because we're on a roll. Self-checkout is great when there's nobody at the self-checkout because I know how to use it. Self-checkout is terrible when there's a line and you have to wait for other people to use it because they don't know. They just don't know what they're doing. It takes so long. For reasons still to me unfathomable. Facts are being spit right here. Like to be fair, at Canadian Tire, I had a very simple order. 6 light bulbs. Or 4 light bulbs, sorry. I don't want to misrepresent it. 6 would take slightly longer. Not the right move there. I walked up. I scanned the light bulbs. It asks, what do you want to pay with? I said what I wanted to pay with. It said, please put that into the machine. I put it into the machine. We're good to go. I'm leaving. Total time of transaction, let's call it 40 seconds. I would say that the average self-checkout user, keep in mind, Canadian Tire, it's a store that skews a little older, to be fair. Average checkout time at Canadian Tire via the self-checkout, I'm going to say that's a 3-minute endeavor. Involving consulting, you got to call the clerk over at some point and be like, what do I do with this? And then I'm presuming that they just go, oh, you scan it. And then they go, oh, you scan it, okay. I get it now. Hold on, I've screwed this up. I got 2 into the bit. I don't want it there. I want balance it. They won't balance on the precipice, guys. I'm sorry. I tried to get it to balance on the precipice. That's a bail. That's a bail. That's a bail. This is a problem. You know what? This is how we're living our life now. Long piece? Oh my god, long piece. Should go without saying, probably going to be a little bit of radio silence upcoming. It won't rotate in that situation. It just chooses. It's like, I'm done. I've done enough for this. I've done enough for you. I don't need to rotate anymore. Ah, that one was on me, unfortunately. I hate to admit it, but it's the honest to goodness truth. Hate to do that, but let's do it. Okay, okay, I guess we'll be putting that there then. If it won't go, switch and make it go. Long piece? Wow, that's a new one. Please. Please, I've almost freed myself, and then you screwed me. A little spiced. Radio silence, please. Let's be honest. There's never going to be a situation in which that one goes. Do it. Well, no squares. Get him, brother. He's at the bottom. But you know what? Even a god can bleed. Send him. Okay, this better be a send and a half. You know what? I think you should be... Okay, let's be honest. He was on the ropes, but he was also better than me. I'll allow that. He got out of that bad situation and was still doing well enough. I thought I had him when he was in the red. That was not the case. He's a good guy. Also, to be at 30 prestige is unbelievable. Like, I am at... I'm not even at 1 prestige, and I have 141 hours in the game. I'm just saying. Not about Tetris. I'm still talking about Home Depot. That's and like I want it. Home Depot is not a small local business, by the way, but like, you know, when Kate and I bought this lamp, the lamps, plural, they're really nice. They're nice lamps. But the whole time we were buying them, I was like, your store is absolutely screwed. Once I'm part of the oldest generation alive, unless you do something, you're going out of business. Not even like maliciously. I'm just saying, like, they'll buy a lamp from you one time, and then they'll be like, why am I wasting, you know, an hour every time I have to buy a light fixture? It doesn't make any sense. I can go to IKEA. I can get one in like, you know, less than 10 minutes, all in. I'm just trying to help. All of my negativity can now be forgiven because it's couched in the idea that I'm actually trying to do positive work. Okay, I've made a mistake here. Thank you. We do not want to spend any time on dangerous Invictus levels here. people are still so excited about the T-spin. I just came second to, you know, M. Bison, the god of Tetris. You're still losing your freaking minds over a T-spin, huh? That's where we're at as a society? Are you crazy? I just walked over here. It's not where that was meant to go, to be honest. You have a good point. T-spin looked cool. Absolutely true. All we've done here is we've baked our 2-tile wide well into the system. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we got a chance to get a 1-tile wide, you know, or like any piece that could send a 1-tile wide. You know, I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility, something that might be interesting in the future. 2-tile bunker. I've realized in my Invictus infancy, you know, I'm prone to the galaxy brain. Something happens one time, and I'm like, oh, maybe the strategy is not to play well, but instead to play badly. But sometimes I think it works. Like, what I've realized now from playing Invictus is like, dude, the concept of a garbage hole is BS. The only Tetris philosophy you actually need is play fast. I mean, don't place pieces. Let me rephrase. There's two things. Play fast and build flat. If you do both of those, you will win a lot of Tetris games. Greed doesn't exist. If you got killed by greed, you didn't get killed by greed. What you got killed by is your skills not being at the level where you can reliably build that high. That's not greed's fault. Don't blame it on the emotion. That's a dereliction of skill. Are you backseating chat right now? Cut me some slack. This is like the only game that's ever come out where that's even a possibility for me. Pretty much exactly where I wanted that one. Thank you. Thank you. That's a bold one. Okay, we're back. Sorry, did I say bold? I meant bald. Okay, there's your 2-tile wide. And we're back. Now comes the point where I cannot look at what you're saying in chat. I apologize. It's just the way of the world. That's gotta go. If it won't go, you gotta make it go. Top 10? What? Please let me play. I didn't deserve to be there. That was horrible. That was not greed, that was bad flat building. Chad, how do you get the graph that shows you your performance in Tetris 99? Do you have to pay for it in this game? In T99, in the world of T99 Tetris? Because I see all the tryhards on the Tetris 99 subreddit who think they're good but have less wins than me. They're always looking at graphs. They're always going, hey, check it out. Here's my performance recently. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Didn't realize this was maths class, but okay. I didn't realize that the reason you play Tetris is to look at some graphs or whatever. I thought it was to send people. Apparently, I don't know what I'm talking about. Graphs are cool. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm gonna agree with the caveat. That was dumb. But I do agree. The caveat is that sometimes it can be frustrating because a lot of people don't know how to interpret graphs properly. And instead, you end up in these situations, what is this? Where, you know, you're like, that graph doesn't mean what you think it means. And they're like, but the lines are going in the same direction. How can you deny that? And you're like, well, you know, look at the scales of the axes, you know, look at what's actually labeled on the axes for one, etc., etc. A lot of people just look at it and go, the lines go in the same direction. I mean, look at this. It's absurd. You ever notice how the rise in ice cream sales correlates exactly with an increase in shark attacks? We gotta stop selling so much freaking ice cream, dude. Our kids are getting mauled out there. Maulding low? See, I'll say it. Is good enough. No. Okay, it's good enough. Really want that square block? Oh, baby! I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Anytime you send like 5 lines in Invictus, you stand a real good chance to pick up a KO. That's why I broke it down there. How did you know I was setting up the T-spin, chat? You been reading my diary? I don't keep a diary. It's a lot of work. There you go. Gonna need an orange piece. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for that one. I can live with this. Okay. We fought back from certain death. Very valuable piece. Kind of hard to place sometimes, but not an invaluable piece. Oh, okay, that's license to send, granted. And we're back. It's only over when you decide it's over. Or if somebody really good decides it's over for you, then oftentimes, to be honest with you, that is enough. I'm not going to say that, you know, you can fight back from everything in this game. It really depends on your own level of skill. It's a bit spiced, but work with me on this one. Come on, brother. It's a lot of heat. Especially, I'm noticing radio silence. Where's my long pieces? There they are. describe that one as not working as intended. Really? I thought for sure that was gonna clear one line and get us out of there. That got tough at the top. Still, I think these have been pretty good games today. I got no real complaints about our performance overall. We've yeeted a couple, but nothing serious. Pivot, but there's like it's a pivot to what is really the thing. I got nothing to pivot to. I don't really want to play Smash today. It's just a little bit too much competition, you know? Certainly we're gonna play the Hunter, but you know, I think I'm good at my age and cognitive ability for one competitive game per 3-hour segment. Has he given thoughts about his Twitch commercial appearance? It's always nice to be recognized in one of those clips, like one of those tweets by the Twitch main channel. But the honest to goodness truth is, I think that, like, to be honest, our industry is so saturated that it's a compliment. The thing I get most out of it is just that, hey, somebody at Twitch thought that clip was really funny. That's the nice thing. Like, if you get featured in like a Twitch main clip or something like that, and you expect it to be your big break or have like an appreciable impact on your, you know, ability to stream and your numbers and your et-ceteras, I think that that time has long since passed. There was a time, in my opinion, maybe, I can't really say for streaming, but for YouTube for sure, where you could have like one viral video and base your whole career off of it, you know? Like there are people on YouTube, I make the joke too often, so you're probably gonna be like, we get it, but you know, you could have one viral video and then like 8 years later, you still have like a career on the platform and you're like a respected creator because you made like Tommy Grandpa fall down, you know, something like that. I don't think that really exists anymore because there's like so many people out there making such like actually good content on a daily basis. It's no longer like, you know, hey, I made a video about X, you should come check it out, and people are like, whoa dude, a video online? That's crazy. You gotta really, you know, have some... Well, there's two sides to it, I guess. One side is you gotta have some great content to get noticed. The other thing is, if once you get noticed, you're like, you're there pretty much forever. I think, at least. It's really hard to get people to start watching you, but once they start watching you, that is not how you set up a T-spin. If they decide they like you, then they'll watch a lot of your stuff most of the time. Some bad plays here. Please let me place one more. Thank you. That's all I needed. I'm not asking for the world. Don't worry, I see it. You got nothing to worry about. We're doing fine here. For a while, we were not, but now we're back. Okay. So, like, it was to regroup on that conversation. It's like, to my knowledge, it's the first time that I've ever been, you know, recognized by the Twitch main account, which is, you know, in its own way funny because I've been streaming for, like, you know, on the platform for like over 5 years, and every single clip and show have been a 10 out of 10. So it's a bit surprising to me that it took this long. But yeah, it's mostly just flattering that somebody at Twitch HQ thought it was funny. So for that, I say thank you. But I hope people aren't under the impression that it's like, oh, that's gonna be like, I'm glad Egg is finally getting more attention, because this, it's not the way I think it works, which is okay. Like, I think it's, you know, it's always hard when you're just getting started, but, you know, I haven't been around for a while. I have the benefit of, you know, inertia. Helps out. Let me give you some pet analysis. 5 KOs, 6 KOs, 50% up, with a good pace of play in the top 25. As of right now, this one definitely has a shot. We should be looking at this one going, you know, we don't want to give up anything too easily on this one. We're going for the 2-tile wide temporarily, which is why I don't mind this too much, but it's alright. We killed the guy who was aggressive toward this. Not the piece I thought it was? No, no, no. Okay, that's not good. But we made it fine. It's also not what I thought was going to happen there. You know what? Just build on top of the garbage. So it's better than using the whole game into the stratosphere over one mistake. There you go. There you go. It'll go. No panics. You're doing great. If you gotta rework it into a 1-tile wide, then you gotta rework it into a 1-tile wide. There's no shame. Controversially, I might even believe, I'm not saying I do, but I might believe that a 1-tile wide is actually, dare I say it, better than a 2-tile wide when you get into the sauce in Invictus. At least for me, that's where my muscle memory is, so I think that's the advantage there. It won't go. No reason to force it. Okay. That's gonna hurt you. Not as much as that. Okay, what's happening? It's a lot of badness all at once. I swear to God, I did not hit the buttons required to be hit to place that piece. This is a hit job. This was somebody up in the clock tower took a shot at my down button. There were like 4 pieces where I was like, I didn't hit the button. But I probably did. Have you ever faced Do-Re-Mi? I honestly would never know, because as soon as I get deleted, I just hit the A button. I don't see the point in waiting around to genuflect to somebody better than myself. To genuflect is to apostate on bended knee. It's not a hard word. Can you guys take the SATs? Don't you listen to Led Zeppelin? I mean, I didn't take the SATs. SIT yourself down, maybe. Go ahead. Okay, you know what? Perhaps I was a little hasty. It's the 50 kill game. Oh! Alright, maybe a few too many misdrops there. It's the 50 kill game. Alright, this might be the last one, then we'll move on to the hunter. Now, did you manage to get some sauce for the hunter? Wink, wink. Or was the message sent too late last night? It was a little late EST. Why play the hunter for only 20 minutes? Brother, you gotta work with me here, okay? Like, it's for more than an hour. I spend so much of my time as a streamer trying to reconcile the fact that I think I'm making good content, but most people just want to talk about time zones, hentai, and why are you wearing a hat. It's really causing me a crisis of faith. I'm going through some like Ethan Hawke First Reformed stuff right now, where I'm like, you know, why am I wasting my time trying to make good content when instead I could just wear, you know, a funny hat and reap the benefits? And the whole, the plot confusion, although so minor as to be almost irrelevant to an outside observer, it adds up. It adds up. Said the guy that talks about drinking horse cum. Excuse me. I talked about drinking horse cum. I don't talk about it. I don't go outside and go, hey, you know what I got strong opinions about? Drinking horse cum. I'm just saying, a lot of Joe Rogan's work is more offensive to me than the idea of a few adults drinking horse cum to win $50,000 on Beer Bank. That's where my strong opinions on the horse cum situation come from. Hold on, things are getting a little spiced. Kate, are you still watching? Dan was trying to sell me on a Cybertruck today. I told him to get out with that nonsense. His words were, I guarantee when the Cybertruck comes out, you will see more of them. Oh, I've done it now. Than you expect. To which I replied, I think that will probably be true for a number of reasons. One of which is, you will never miss one. If you see one of those in the wild, you're gonna know that it's there. It's not like a Kia Forte. People don't go, what car is that? People, every time you stop at a stoplight, people will be like, there's Tim in his Cybertruck again. With the anime wrap around it. Well, I guess we're going all in on the T-spin, huh? He's done it. He's done it. Even as he dies, he's done it. Okay. No, sir, that was the wrong position for that piece. I beseech you. It's okay. Told you, see, like, I mean, when you can't make a major mistake if you're not being targeted. Because there's no such thing as a major mistake until the targets start flowing. You're just playing Tetris against yourself. Okay, we gotta actually, like, make lines. Okay, blue or orange? Blue means you can drop the pink, means you can get this going, this going, this going. Okay, we're back. There's your 2-tile wide if you desire it, and I do. Orange is coming up sooner. I know, I know! Here's the thing. Everybody wants you dead. It snaps! I gotta give you one more. The pink piece, somebody super glues the pink piece every time. I'm telling you, it drops right on you. Oh my god, what is that emote? Dangreed _ SG? Is that a Dan tier 3 emote? SG. Sunglasses. Oh, you can only get it via the point system. Oh. I see. That's a once in a lifetime emote. When will you get the coin system? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like a it's a one-click setup, right? If something's too easy, I'll never do it because it takes so little time. It could already be done, you know? If Macro says never do it, you gotta trust the VIP in that situation. Because I feel like if it brought something new to the table, Macros would be honest about it. He would be like, this improves the stream experience. If you hit me with a, it's not worth it, you know what, we can do this. Then I trust that it's not worth it then. Okay, we need a little bit of a bigger send. This'll work. Why is Josh so toxic? I was stunned, yes. Of all the things that there can be reactions to on the show, I was stunned that there was somebody in the YouTube, or not YouTube, but the Reddit after show thread that was upset that I interrupted Josh. That literally, like, it didn't even cross my mind that that could happen on planet Earth. They made a comment that was like, it was really bad. It said like NL's horrible at interacting with his friends. That comment got deleted, so they made another post that just said, always complains about being interrupted, but interrupts. And that one, that got traction. That's not gonna work very well. Okay, hold on, I got distracted. Give me one more. I thought that dude was joking. Why don't you look at his post history and tell me if you think he's still joking? Because I did. I'm ready. Start me. No, I didn't yeet him because he's posted a lot about me. Most of it is really good. I will say in one post he said Ryan's brain is broken, and then the comment must have at one point said, I love him, but he is straight up rarded. And then all the comments say, rarded, 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 lol, forehead, he said the word wrong. And then he must have edited it to put the spelling the way he wanted it, which I won't say, but you could probably figure it out for yourself. And then I went, you know what? Why am I getting ornery about this? This is just a comical situation. I always thought my life was a tragedy. Now I realize it's a comedy. You guys see that Gamer Joker Funko Pop? Stop checking our post history? Absolutely not. Because I love when I look at somebody's post history when they post something about being big mad about online entertainment, and they have a bunch of like actual comments on like NSFW stuff. Like, why are you commenting on that? That's not what it's there for. Did you miss the memo where we figured out that's not the purpose of that sort of content, is to have discussions about it? You just get in and get out, brother. Tale as old as time. Beauty in the yeet, exactly. By the way, Cobalt, since you're here, I don't know, somebody made that tweet that was like, everybody has one friend that for some reason only likes explicit cosplay photos on Twitter. And I said, I think it was Sino that said that. I can't remember though. I said, yeah, I have that person, except that it's always a streamer. And then so many people were like, why don't you just call Cobalt out? I was not calling Cobalt out. Cobalt's not that guy for me. I have other guys that do that. And it's not Mathis either. It was your tweet? Sorry, it was like an accidental insult while also protecting you. Forgot who to attribute the original tweet to. That's my mistake, sir. Just do that. Here's the thing. If you're worried that it's you, stop doing it. Or don't be worried. Be shameless about it. I'll respect either. Either one is you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I'm not out here to, you know, police anybody else's use of social media. The only time I do that is when they make fun of me, and then I go through their post history and I make fun of them, but privately, most of the time. I don't like this layout here. It's a very cursed situation to put, you know, shouldn't be doing this, but I'm gonna do it. To put 2 long pieces horizontal is not a common occurrence. But, you know, when in Rome, or whatever. Just making a little bit of space. Just making a little space. Sometimes when you're chopping wood, as Dan would say, you gotta chop. You can't always be chopping 70 logs at a time. Sometimes you gotta chop like 2 logs. Whoa. First off, terrible placement. But secondly, look at the badges. This could be a lot worse right now. But life comes at you fast in Invictus. Don't get cocky. Okay, 2 tile wide. Great work, team. Less great work on that one. You can still get there, though. Okay. I think you, like, the 2 tile wide was there. That's a situation where I want to break down and get that man's badges, though. Why fight it, sir? He fought it! He fought it back! Well, I guess that answers the why fight it question. No. No. That was an extremely valuable long piece that got sent to the Yeetosphere accidentally. Luckily, as usual, we've gone without punishment because we're too big to fail. Oh my god. I would like an orange piece, please. Okay. Kind of screwed up the timing. That's a big badge. Okay, there's your 1 tile wide. I got no complaints. It won't go. I have 1 complaint. I need another. Yikes, okay. Well, that could have been better. Sorry, this is kind of like permanent radio silence territory. Nobody wants to go. I don't blame them. It's a fun game. You don't want to leave before the party's over. Hate that. We're gonna find the line. I knew it! I felt it the whole way up. Oh, that was hot. That was a hot one. A 14 KO Invictus victory with honestly the highest placing CPU I've ever seen. I'm gonna pivot like immediately to the hunter so that I am only going to be very slightly late. I'm gonna be but 100 seconds late. But that was an incredible victory. Really, if only they had decided that they were going to lose faster. Because I already knew that we had the win locked up. It's just that easy. Run it back? Not today. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the flow state. That was our 7th Tetris 99 Invictus win. Alright, so we are playing the Hunter Call of the Wild. For a bounty, thank you. Let me make sure I got the studio name proper here, just for the record. Thank you